Hello, once again, everybody. This is Lord Tamberlane with another Obscurity in Miniature. Today, we're going to look at the Delaque. I am not sure how to pronounce it, but the gang from Necromunda. The cool dudes in trench coats. Now, you may know them from back in the day when they were a bunch of bald-headed Matrix knockoffs, but we're going to take a look at the new sprues today because I could never stand the old ones. I thought they looked really cheesy and boring. Let's see how the new ones look. So, heads up, when you get this, just like all the new Necromunda stuff, you do get, in fact, 2 identical sprues and a bag of random faces, which I really want to say is a nice touch. I like that all of my Necromunda stuff has a nice unified look. They all have the fancy bases. I don't need to worry about, coming up with some kind of unique design because I suck at that. So, I already went ahead and built 1 sprue. But I wanted to talk about a couple of the things on here. One of the things that I really can't stand, and I really wish GW was doing a better job of, is offering up enough interesting little bits on the sprue itself. Since this is 2 of the same sprues, you only get 2 of the same parts. Now, there's a couple parts in here that I really wish they gave you a couple extras, such as the gun that straps on the back, or the hand flamers, or the knives, or right here especially we have the set of knives. I love guys that go in close combat. So I really was hoping we'd have more than just 2 pairs of those. Unfortunately, you only have 2. You also only have 2 hands holding knives. So if you want to go crazy melee like I do, you're probably going to have to look to third-party sellers or wait for GW or Forge World to get around to releasing more close combat weapons. There's also the staff, which you get 2 of, which I guess is kind of, interesting if you want to convert it or something. But if you follow GW's guide for building the figures, you only really need 1 anyway. The only other thing I wanted to talk about before we look at the figures themselves are GW's suggestions for what you can do to modify these figures. So we're just going to take a quick look here. They suggest start with this and replace this. The only thing that you can really do with these figures in terms of customizing straight out of the box, unless you want to get really green stuff and knife happy, is just swap the hands and the heads. That's about it. Each figure, let's pop some on. So we'll put Pops here on his base. And we'll get him hopefully zoomed in. Pretty please. The only thing is I don't tend to glue my guys down to the bases until I actually at least paint the lower halves of them, just because, well, I like to be very thorough with my painting, so. Crouching, holding gunman, and skulking in the dark dude. So yeah, like I said, my first big criticism is, despite the fact that I really like the design of all of the new guys, there's not a lot of options in terms of close combat stuff. And again, as I've mentioned, close combat is always my go-to thing. A couple of things to point out on the figures as I knock them all over. The only really optional bits that you can play around with are these, what do you call it, the pouches, grenades. So there's always like a little thing you can stick onto their, oh crap, that's, well, they also all have the rebreathers that I just snapped off that I thought I glued better than that, but I guess I didn't. I don't remember if these guys had their guns drilled out or not. I might have done that myself. And I'm looking at the sprue, and I can't tell. Yeah, it looks like I did that. Yep, that's a big pet peeve of mine, is having guns that don't have any holes to shoot out of. So, I've got my little drill bit that I always pop out. This is probably my favorite figure. I was torn between whether to give him the 2 guns or the 2 knives. I went with the guns for the moment, but I figure I'm going to build the other one with the knives. Nobody else needs them. So, overall, the only thing that, again, I was going to say was the really optional bits are the things you can attach to their belts, their heads, and their hands. So the poses are pretty much deadlocked into what you see. Everybody's going to have, there's going to be the one tough guy standing there, poised and ready for combat. You're going to have the one skulky guy. You're going to have the one runny, advancing forward guy. You're going to have the striding purposefully figure, and then you're going to have the skulking, hunched over dude. Outside of that, I'm not sure. Do they need to have more optional parts than that? Probably not. It's always nice. I'm definitely going to be taking a look at when Forge World releases their weapons packs. So you can see, I only have the one close combat guy, which is sad, but these guys are probably going to get a lot of use for me outside of Necromunda just because we haven't gotten around to playing it yet. We figured that if we're going to play Necromunda, it's going to have to be with the Goliaths and the Essers since that's what's in the box. We're weird like that in our family. And hopefully, once we get around to picking up the compendiums, we're going to get a game in with the, all the other various games. We've got the rules for Delaque from the latest White Dwarf, so hopefully we can give them a spin sooner or later. But yeah, these guys are definitely my go-to post-apocalyptic evil cultists. They're so going to be... Actually, that's the other thing I was going to say was, with that other sprue, the leftover sprue, they're probably not going to be Delaque anymore. They're probably going to end up as Genestealer cultists, because why not? With those crazy hoods, I don't think it's going to require a whole lot of extra work from them. I think outside of the heads, maybe an extra arm or two, I think these guys are going to work really well for Genestealer cults. So, with that said, I am going to go off and build the rest of their crew and see if I have any Genestealer cultist parts laying around and see how that turns out. If they turn out decent, I will try to put a video of those up, and if they turn out crappy, you'll never hear from them again. This has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying see you later. Bye-bye.